Hi, this is Lee Belarmino, and I'm the IT director at San Joaquin Delta College, and I've had that role for over 25 years. I'm in charge of all the academic, administrative computing on campus and the communication. I started on the building information modeling track, and it came two different ways. One is that I helped on the development of the fusion system, and my approach was from a pure technology point of view. How do we take the needs of a facility and how do we reduce it into requirements and develop a system to track it? We looked at all the requirements that we had in all the colleges across the state. We had very large user groups and of facility directors, building directors. We had architects, we had administrators, and we had a really big analysis session for many weeks. Then we went and we tried to identify not only the requirements, but what is the key data that had to be collected for every college in the system, and within the colleges, what information about buildings, what information about rooms, what information about systems, how do we collect assessment data and capture it so we understand the life cycle of systems. And my contribution has been totally on the development side for many years. We ended up hosting it for the entire system. In the last 3 years, this experience has kind of collided with what we needed here at Delta. They put me in charge of a $275 million construction program, and all of a sudden I cared about buildings, all of a sudden I cared about systems, all of a sudden I cared about design, all of a sudden I cared about building life cycles. I researched building information modeling systems, and as part of that research, I spent months looking at systems from the standard architectural developments, BIM models, all the way to the three-dimensional ones and the smaller packages. And the one part that I was looking at is, how do we manage this information across platforms? How do we get it into a form that's open, that multiple kinds of systems can use it, not only in the planning stages of a building, the architectural stages, the construction stages, the reporting of this information to the state, the ongoing maintenance of the system. We wanted the beginning to the end of the building, starting with when we actually are planning a building. And so what I found was everybody struggles with this, every owner. We looked at it from the state level, the California Community College, and at the Delta level. And what we found is a way using emerging standards in the BIM industry, and open standards that, by the way, that the building industry is a little bit behind some of the other domains, certainly in information technology, but the standards that are emerging are solid and they make a lot of sense, starting with the COBE standard for importing and exporting. The next level was to couple that with GIS information that we also have worked on and hosted for the state of California for years. The research project was how to bring it together, and we think we have cracked it. We are doing it today. We have taken fusion data, which again is the information that is stored in the central repository for the state. We have taken that information and rendered back into BIM. We have rendered our existing legacy buildings. And we are able to do that using a product that has opened the world for us, which is the ONUMA product, which uses web services, which uses open standards, and is able to talk not only to standard, using standard interfaces, but also proprietary, using proprietary APIs and other interfaces. So finding this framework has only been the start. What we are planning on is other applications need to plug in, and as long as they speak web services or we have a way to get them on the web, we're going to be able to interface with them. So as an example, we are doing a lot of work in the convergence of building systems, and simply speaking, it's converging and making smart building and smart campus applications using your cameras, your energy management systems, your security systems, your access control systems, your many other building systems. Well, we are working on the convergence of those systems, and what we will be doing is building them into and hooking them into the framework of the BIM and the ONUMA system, because it doesn't make sense ever to store the same information more than once. There really needs to be one master, and a building is a building, and a system is a system. So we are at the ground floor, but we're very confident that we have the foundation, the information technology foundation for sure, to make these things happen in the future. But what's happening in the information technology is something called services-oriented architecture, and that's where you reduce these larger applications into very smaller, much smaller components. In other words, you wouldn't just go buy an energy system. Maybe you would look at a service that does a really, really good job at capturing information about the use of an energy in one building or one system or one component, and then you would have another system, another service that would aggregate this information and be able to report it. So the information technology side is moving to more discrete services, and that's exactly where we are heading together with our partners on the Fusion project and with our partners on ONUMA.